Hi everyone, welcome back to the Movie Reviewers 100. My name is Scott, also known as Cineram here on YouTube. I do the Thursday videos for this collab channel. We focus on a particular theme each week. Sometimes it's an actor-actress, sometimes it's a director, sometimes it's a genre or subgenre, sometimes it's a particular movie series. We are covering Matthew McConaughey this week. A few days ago, EJ, Puckbond007, posted a review of Dazed and Confused, which was pretty much his breakthrough movie, McConaughey's. After that, he went on to have a great career in the 90s, starring in a lot of movies, and then took a dive into the silly rom-com and what have you. I can't remember if he co-starred in a movie with Jennifer Garner or not. Oh yes, right, Ghosts of Girlfriends Past. The reason why I bring that up is because Jennifer Garner starred in a movie called Elektra for director Rob Bowman, who McConaughey also worked with in my choice this week, which is Reign of Fire, which came out in 2002 or 2003, co-starring Christian Bale, who really plays the main character in this movie, but McConaughey was the bigger star at that point, so he got top billing. This is, Rob Bowman has a television career that goes all the way back to 21 Jump Street in the 80s. Recently, you know, he's just done lots and lots of television, but he's done 3 noteworthy films. The first X-Files film, Fight the Future, which came out in the late 90s after he had directed several episodes of that show. Elektra, and this film. This takes place in the distant future of 2020. It's only like 4 years from now. But the way the story goes, Christian Bale, as a young kid, was living in London with his mother, who worked in a mine shaft. And there was a discovery of an ancient fire-breathing creature, who of course turns out to be a dragon. And the dragon basically kills a whole bunch of people and then spawns a whole bunch of other dragons, which fly all over the world, decimating the human population. So, many years later, Christian Bale is living in a compound, basically like a castle. Excuse me, my throat's very dry today for some reason. And he's taking care of a lot of other kids. He's taking care of families, adults. They all are trying to farm, grow crops, trying to outlive the the dragons. The dragons. The story is the dragons actually killed the dinosaurs way back in the day, and they've been sleeping ever since. Now they have a fresh population of humans and other creatures to feed on, but apparently they also eat ash, which I'm not really sure. I don't really understand that. They don't eat people when they're living or freshly dead. They eat them after they've been burned to a crisp. Doesn't sound very tasty to me, but hey, I'm not a dragon, so I wouldn't know what's tasty to a dragon. Gerard Butler is also in this movie. He plays Christian Bale's best friend, and they're working together to keep the kids entertained with reenactments of The Empire Strikes Back and other things like that. But it's a hard life, basically. It's a hard life. It's a very gray movie for the most part. Everyone is, you know, living in basically stone and burned out encampments, and everyone wears rags. You know, it's sort of Mad Max-esque, I guess you could say. It's, you know, kind of in the style of a typical post-apocalyptic movie. So, they're trying to eke out a living there, trying to grow crops, and there's some infighting going on between the people in this community, when all of a sudden Matthew McConaughey shows up, and with a couple of tanks and a whole sort of armada of, as they call it, irregulars, military detachment, and they've been running around all over the world trying to slay dragons, which is a claim that Christian Bale and a lot of the other people in his community don't really buy at first until they actually do it. When McConaughey first shows up with his tanks and stands outside the gate of their little makeshift fortress, Christian Bale says to Gerard Butler, "If anything happens, you know what to do." And Gerard Butler goes, "No, I don't actually." And Christian Bale's like, "Me neither. This has never happened before." But they come along and they say, "Hey, look, you know, we've got tools, we've got a helicopter, we've got weapons, we've been taking down dragons." And Christian Bale's like, "Yeah, right." Until they actually go on a mission to actually do that. They set up tools for a 3D mapping system, and they have three guys in parachutes basically jump out of a helicopter as bait, and then they try and snare the thing and then shoot an arrow into its throat or something like that in order to kill it. So after they're successful with this one time, you know, things go from bad to worse very quickly, as they tend to do with a situation like this. And they try and figure out, okay, well, you know, there's all these dragons all over the place. What are we going to do? And they theorize that all the dragons are female. At least that's what McConaughey says. And Christian Bale's like, I don't know. I never really check the plumbing when I'm running away from a dragon that's trying to, you know, burn me to death. And McConaughey's like, well, look, from what we've seen, they're all female, but there's probably just one male that fertilizes all the eggs that the females lay. So if we take out the male, if we take out the one male that's alive, then the species will die out and we'll be fine, right? And they're like, okay, great. Well, that's easier said than done, isn't it? And they figure they have to go to London to do that, back to London, what Christian Bale doesn't want to do because that's where his mother died and he has bad memories, and so they have to, you know, overcome their, you know, little, you know, personal fears and what have you in order to get the job done. And of course things go from bad to worse, as they tend to do, and there's lots of action, there's lots of running around and blowing things up, and lots of fire, of course. It's an okay movie. Not that great of a movie. I don't know whether I actually saw it before. I think I probably saw it before, like on video, and then just forgot all about it. The only moments I remember were the ones that I remember from the trailer. So it's kind of hard to recommend this movie just because it's, you know, just not that exciting to begin with. But McConaughey's a lot of fun because he's a bit of a crazy guy in this one. He's got a shaved head, he's got a full beard, you know, he's just sort of maniacal. And there's one point in the movie which he actually starts to look like the villain, because when he says, I need more people to go and hunt these dragons, he first asks for volunteers of the community. He says, okay, volunteer time's over, now it's time for the draft. And he says, just take 6 of the strongest guys who live here and bring them with us, because they're going to fight the dragons with us. And so he gets into a tussle with Christian Bale over that, but he doesn't really stay the villain for long. Soon enough, he starts to suffer losses of his men, and for some, you know, somehow he's able to survive a huge attack from a dragon, which is kind of unbelievable. But eventually they come around to working together. Izabella, I'm not sure how to pronounce her name exactly. Izabella Scorupco, right. She was in GoldenEye with Pierce Brosnan. She was his leading lady in GoldenEye. So she's in this as the helicopter pilot. So the three of them, they're making the trip to London to see if they can kill off the last male, and that involves firing an arrow with a magnesium tip into the throat that will explode the flammable contents of the dragon and blow it up and kill it. That's the idea anyway. It's an okay movie. If you like this type of genre, you'll probably get into this. The performances are good. Gerard Butler, you know, this is before 300, so before he was really well known. But yeah, McConaughey is fun in the movie. McConaughey, you know, is as a character in this. I don't think he's ever played a character like this before or since, but yeah, it's not bad. And Christian Bale's always pretty reliable as well, though he's pretty much, this is sort of like a dry run for his John Connor in Terminator Salvation. So yeah, not really a recommendation unless you're really into this kind of movie, in which case I would say go ahead, you'll probably like it a lot. So that is my review for this week. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will have a new theme next week. And if you'd like to please visit our Facebook page, you can leave a comment and suggest a theme for an upcoming week that we'll be doing right here, an actor, director, what have you. We also have an Instagram page if you'd like to check that out. The links to both of those are in the description down below. And subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. We will see you again next time. Later.